So, what does death mean to me now at the completion of this course? Well, for me, death still means widely the same thing that it meant to me prior to taking this course. I am Christian, so I believe that when you die, your body is gone to a higher place where it's at peace, you're free of pain and suffering of the world, and you're being called to your Creator, being God, and you're being called to His home, being heaven. I have learned that many different cultures deal with death in many different ways. Some are what, Western culture would deem as normal, while others are just so out of this world that it's just like, whoa, beyond me. For example, Jews bury the bodies no more than 24 hours after the fact of the person dying, whereas there are people like the Irish who might set up scenes with the corpse and set them up with beers and stuff like that because they believe that the spirit might come back to the body, might return back to the body. There's different ways of paying tribute to your loved one. For example, there are memorial diamonds, which personally I might just be interested in. But then also I've learned about the deaths and the do's and don'ts. Like if you ever find yourself in this situation where a loved one has died, like what next steps there are for you to take. A really, really important thing that I learned throughout the duration of this course, or that really stuck out to me, I would say, is that adults and children deal with death in different ways, and adults deal with the death of their parents versus their child in two different ways. So I learned that, death isn't just like adults, right? It can also be like miscarriages and stuff like that. Like those are also considered deaths. And I mean, it's kind of obvious, but those are things that kind of, I would say, glossed over my mind. Like I wouldn't really categorize them as a death before because it's like you've never really met that person, you haven't really built those connections with them. But now that I've taken a course on death and learned a lot of new things on death, I know that death comes in all different shapes and forms. Nothing is weird, and it's just all about having respect for other people's cultures and the way that they do things in order to not offend anybody.